one bad officiating call cost him the game. That's right, Sonny. I know you have a gripe with me over this, but that was a really bad officiating call. Too damn late to throw the flag there, ref. Come on. What do you got, Sonny? What do you got for me? I love you when you just arms crossed, giving me the dog look there. What do you got, Sonny?
First of all, it was a questionable call, not a bad call. Okay, questionable.
So my question is, why didn't that ref leave his flag in his pocket where it belongs? That's my question. Thank you for downloading and listening to the West Box Score. We take a look at sports on the west side of the country, inside and outside of the box score. I'm Alex Gonzalez, and here to do that with me is my co-host, my co-pilot, my co-captain, the Pat Riley to my Showtime Lakers, Donald Paz. What's up, Donald?
Yo, what's going on, Alex? How you been, bro?
I've been good, man. I'm pumped to hang out with you and our sixth man of the year that I'm going to introduce in just a moment. First, though, I need to take a quick moment to ask you to please follow us on Twitter and Instagram at WestBoxScore. Subscribe, rate, and review us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts downloaded. And now, from the Fox Crate Podcast, the king of vinyl himself, Sonny and Mano. What's up, Sonny?
Yo, what's up, boys? Wait, was that a Lemon Pepper Lou reference when you just referred to me as the sixth man of the year?
You like that? You're the sixth man, dude. You coming off the bench, hit some big threes.
Is that a Magic City reference? I'm trying to follow here.
I was thinking of more Tyronn Lue back in the day. That was my boy.
Okay.
We're recording this Wednesday night, right after Game 1 of the NBA Finals between our Los Angeles Lakers and the Miami Heat. Guys, man, this game started off a little scary. Gotta admit, I was a little worried with that 13-point lead the Miami Heat had in the first quarter. But then that quick 30-point turnaround before halftime, dude, it got really aggressive there toward the end of that. Real chippy, I thought. A lot of bodies flying all over the place. LeBron got into that scuffle, landed a little awkwardly on his shoulder. I don't know if you guys caught that. And AD and LeBron went after the same rebound, and AD kind of jammed his finger going after it. And then that Jimmy Butler left ankle twist, it looked odd. But they all three guys came back in for the second half. What were your takeaways from the first half and the whole game? Sonny, I'll go to you first.
Oh man, I was never worried. I understand
like Bone Crusher, never scared.
I understand the emotions that come with the finals. You know, you got the jitters, the first game jitters. You're like, yo, what's that team gonna look like? What are we gonna look like? Even when the Heat came out quick, it was just kind of like, yeah, let's see. Let's see if they sustain this. And sure enough, the Lakers just put out that flame real quickly.
Put out
and kind of, yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I'll see myself
That's
out.
Right. That's right. And yeah, man, it just looked like what I kind of hoped it would be. And that was that the Lakers just look like man amongst boys, man. And I hate to say that about other NBA players, right? Like a team that's in the finals, like the Miami Heat. But dude, the Lakers just look like they're too much for this team, you know. And then the fact that those players, their key players, started dropping like flies. You know, it was like,
right.
Oh, you know, but I feel like that's almost fool's gold. So the Lakers better be careful. You know, they can't go into game 2 thinking, oh, we just whacked them. Mm-hmm. And, you know, 2 of their top 3 players already got injured and might be questionable. So it's a wrap. They cannot think like that. But overall, to answer the initial question, I was pleased with the Game 1 performance. And 3 more to go, baby. 3 more.
Yeah.
Donna, what did you think of the game?
Oh man, I was same thing as you. Nervous in the beginning. Was getting kind of critical with the team shooting in my head, and it was just kind of one of those things where it's like, well, maybe this will be the game where, similar to the Houston series, they'll kind of let Houston play its pace, and then figure out the counter for the rest of the series. Because that's what they did with Houston. I'm not saying they let the Houston Rockets win Game 1, but it just felt like Houston did their thing and they realized what they did, and then they figured out how to mimic it and built a counter strategy to it for the rest of the series, and it worked out. And that's kind of what I had in mind that was going to happen, especially because even after the 13-point deficit, when they were coming back up, it was a lot of back and forth. Obviously, there was that huge blunder that kind of, I think that was also part of the momentum of the Lakers, even though it looked really bad. The whole Butterfingers situation with the ball, where it felt like no one was grabbing the ball for 2 minutes straight. At least that's what it felt like, because it ate up so much of the time in the second quarter. But I thought that the Lakers were impressive. I felt like that the shooting came in through when it needed to come through, so that was good to see. I did have my doubts coming into it, because the Heat are such good shooters. They're sharp shooters, and that's their MO. And the Lakers don't have that, at least not consistently. But it was good. But same thing as Sonny, I wouldn't feel too confident, but just kind of keep it going. Right now, if you saw the fourth quarter, kind of felt very flimsy. Well, the end of the third quarter felt very flimsy. Almost felt like the Lakers were also kind of taking their foot off the gas too much. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes for the series.
I mean, at that, they had a, what was it, like a 32-point lead at some point late in the third quarter. At that point, you could ease off the gas pedal and just cruise control it all the way to the finish line. I think at one point the Heat went on a 8-0 run in the fourth quarter. So they were making it
20.
Yeah, so they were.
Vogel called the timeout.
I thought what was entertaining for me to watch in the second half was, I think obviously LeBron's aware of what's at stake here historically and for his legacy. And I think when he looked up at the stat sheet at the box score, and obviously the Lakers were already dominating, he saw AD's stat line and was like, "Oh shit, I gotta get a triple double or something to make sure that AD doesn't get the Finals MVP here over me."
Wow.
And so it was interesting to see kind of that play out, because it felt like LeBron was really forcing some of those passes. I mean, they were still kind of good looks that he was getting his teammates, but it was one of those things you could tell, like, oh, this dude wants that triple double so that people remember that when they're voting, 3, 4, 5 games from now.
You'll get 17 votes this time.
Exactly. So we'll see though. I mean, again, I don't want to put the cart before the horse. It was just one game, but it's a separate thing to keep an eye on as this series progresses, especially if game 2 is like a similar type of situation where AD balls out the way he did on both sides.
Yeah.
Is LeBron ready to accept that maybe AD might get the Finals MVP? I don't know. We'll see.
Every game's a different chapter in this story, in this series. You never know. Hopefully it's very similar, the same thing we saw in game 1, but I'm with you guys. Since it's game 1, do we make our predictions this early? Or is it too soon to predict our series predictions? Sonny, you don't think it's too early?
No, it's never too early. How many times have we come on here? And you've asked us for a prediction? I think you asked us for a prediction of the Lakers Clippers before both their series were even over. So it's like it's never too early. Again, I think Donald and I deserve a little bit of a pat on the back.
Oh, absolutely,
because we predicted this Finals when this thing first started.
When the playoff bubble started, I asked you guys who are some sleeper picks in either conference, and you guys both said Miami out in the Eastern Conference was a real sleeper pick.
Yep. And so, with that said,
so are you guys kind of wrong then for that performance they put out today? Or
no, I didn't say they were gonna. I didn't say they were gonna win it all. I said they're my dark horse coming out of the East. Is what I said.
That is right. They are representing the East,
right? So in fairness to the Heat and their competitive spirit and how well coached they are, I expect Eric Spoelstra to make whatever adjustments he can make, obviously, between now and game 2. The key thing is going to be the injuries, obviously. But assuming that, he is able to get one of it, let's say Bam Adebayo is the big one to me. If he's able to get Bam back for game 2, I'm going to say, originally I was heeing and hawing between this series going 5 or maybe 6 at the most. But I'm going to adjust it and go confident and say the Lakers wrap it up with in 5. Gentlemen's sweep again, all the way through. They'll just finish the deal in 5. So yeah, that's going to be my prediction.
I always thought the gentleman's sweep was allowing the team to win the first game, like holding the door open for them, letting them walk in, and then closing the door and slamming it, and then the team winning 4 straight. I thought that was.
I mean, sure. I guess technically that is to me the gentleman's sweep is we'll let you have one. Like. So
but 5 games is to win a series in 5 games is still dominating fashion. I think. I mean,
yeah, that's my prediction.
Donald.
I would say Lakers in 5. I feel the Heat will pull one out. I feel like it'll be kind of similar to the Nuggets series where it just felt like they were gonna do something, like they were gonna make the series somewhat interesting. But I don't know. I wouldn't want it to be a series where if the Heat are really out with their starter guys like Bam and Jimmy's kind of banged up, he's gonna be swole. That thing's gonna swell up. That ankle injury, and if that becomes a thing, then obviously it just I don't know. It's never fun to beat a good team when they're not at full strength. But I do feel like the Heat might take one. So I'll say Lakers in 5.
Yeah, I thought Frank Vogel was playing with fire there. Again, I think actually it was because of the Finals MVP implications, but I thought he was playing with fire and letting pretty much AD and Bron finish most of that game when it was mostly out of hand. That kind of irked me a little bit as a fan. I was like, dude, get these dudes out of there. Like, why are you risking it? But again, in the back of my mind, I couldn't help but think like, it's because of the NBA Finals MVP. That's why he wants them to get their numbers and stuff
I guess
because
if you think about it too, it's not like he's like a Phil Jackson that came in after playing with Michael and he's kind of been around this situation of being a finals guy. This is a coach this is his first rodeo at it, and he wants to make it seem like he's putting his best foot forward. So I think that plays into it too. I think his whole like the way he's going to be seen as a coach after this. So yeah.
Yeah, you got to pad those NBA Finals MVP stats. And speaking of padding stats, there's also baseball going on right now. As we're talking about, as we're recording this right now, the Dodgers are currently up 3-2 against the Milwaukee Brewers. Sonny, your fantasy pitcher, Walker Buehler, started the game today.
Yes,
and
he did.
He pitched 4 innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, though, home run, and leaves with an ERA of 4.50 on today's performance. So not so good, but even worse. I'm glad you don't have Brett Suter as your fantasy pitcher because he only went inning and 2/3, gave up 3 earned runs, 5 walks. 2 walks brought in 2 runs for the Dodgers' first inning there, and a 16.20 ERA in his postseason debut start. Not the way you want to start your postseason career, And so as we're recording this now, Dodgers are currently up 3-2. This is going on at the exact same time as the Lakers game. How spoiled are we as LA sports fans, Donald? That we're able to watch Game 1 of the NBA Finals and Game 1 of this wild card round. First time ever here. Dodgers and Brewers flipping back and forth. It's been awesome, right?
Yeah, especially with the Lakers blowout. I was able to kind of see the Dodgers game a little bit more focused now. And obviously, as we're recording right now, I'm watching the Dodger game happen. They're at the top of the 6th, and like you said, 3-2. But it's crazy to see 2 teams in LA playing really pretty much you could say at the same time. I mean, an hour. The game didn't tip off till like 6:15 for the Lakers. So
2 championship favorites to bring the titles to LA. The first time since 1988, if the Dodgers and Lakers could both bring titles. First time the Dodgers will win a title since 1988. Sonny, you being a Mariners fan, are you giving any of support to the LA Dodgers during this postseason since your Mariners are out of it?
Yeah, look, I maintain the same thing as I always tell anybody who asks. Even though I'm a diehard Mariners fan, I'm not a Dodger hater. However, nice. I will call out Dodger fandom. Like they're just the easiest. You guys are the easiest to troll, man. Like wow. It's ridiculous. So if you do, bait me, I will oblige in that sense. And maybe you edit that
by bait you, dude.
meaning Dodger fans make it easy sometimes, because again, the ridiculous expectations or how it's like it's weird, man. There's something about Dodger fans.
I feel like
that,
you're a cat calling the kettle black here because Laker fans and Dodger fans are very similar vein.
No. This is what I was just gonna say.
Okay,
though. This is what I was just gonna say. There's a distinct difference between Dodger fans and Laker fans, right? Even though they are one and the same. If we think about it, though, it's like for some reason Dodger fans don't know how to put that wall up between Lakers' success and Dodgers' success. Like they think it's somehow supposed to like manifest and carry over to all their LA teams. And it's like, those are two different sports. The Lakers have been the only great consistent team we've had in LA of all our franchises over the last 20 years. But y'all act like the Dodgers have been on that same kind of level in baseball when they haven't been. So that's to me the funny part. It's like,
no, I agree. I completely agree with you. And it's funny because I do see that. You are 100% right. And as a Dodger fan and a Lakers fan, I can only imagine it because maybe the Dodgers have been to the World Series the last couple of years, but you got to remember they failed both times, man. We didn't get the championship there, man.
Not only that, how many times have the Dodgers won the division?
8 times.
Exactly.
This year. No, and I get it. I guess that's something to be proud of, right? That's step one of the goals for the year. You got to get the playoffs. You got to make the playoffs. Winning the division gets you there. So that's step one.
It's that entitlement that bothers me. Again, as Laker fans, we're spoiled. But why are we spoiled? Because the Lakers have actually delivered us championships over the last 20 years. So for us, it's like, oh yeah, it'll be a matter of years before we get our next one, right? Because we're so used to it, right? But Dodger fans haven't had a World Series since 1988. So what the fuck are they saying? Like, yo, it's only a matter of time since we. It's like that's the problem I have with the Dodger side of fandom.
Send your hate to Sunny Mano at Fox Crate Podcast on Instagram.
Come at me, bro.
Dodger fans get them. Game 2 is slated for Thursday, the day after we're recording this. Clayton Kershaw is going to go on the mound against Brandon Woodruff. And Friday, perhaps, as we drop this episode, there's a possible Game 3 in this wild card round, which we're not hoping to see because no pitchers have been announced for that. And I could imagine maybe a Dustin May will probably get the nod for the Dodgers, most likely. One would happen Friday at 3:38 p.m. early afternoon game. So right after you listen to this episode, check out the Dodger game. But hopefully there won't be one because they'll have it wrapped up by then. Possible. Anything's possible. NFL also going on, man. It's a plethora of sports now. Isn't this awesome, dude? Like we went when this whole thing started back in March with sports shutting down to now here we are in September, still shut down, quotation marks here, but everywhere else is like sports are on and popping, man. You got to love that. So the LA Rams took an L against the Buffalo Bills, 35-32, and Goff had an okay performance, threw for over 321 yards, 2 touchdowns, and INT. Darrell Henderson seems to be their number one running back now with 20 carries and 114 yards and a touchdown, rushing touchdown there. And the Rams were about to make this big second half comeback, which I was really getting into. I'm like, it's going to happen. All we got to do is we took the lead there in the fourth quarter. All we need is for our defense to shut down the Bills on one drive. And the offensive line the defensive line was getting to Josh Allen, this man beast of a quarterback, but they could not take him down, dude. It was crazy to see the likes of our strong offense, our defensive line rather, just not able to take this beast down. And at one point there was a face mask though. Josh Allen, be careful out there. You're freaking dirty. And all that being done, one bad officiating call cost him the game. That's right, Sonny. I know you have a gripe with me over this, but that was a really bad officiating call. Too damn late to throw the flag there, ref. Come on. What do you got, Sonny? What do you got for me? I love you when you're arms crossed, giving me the dog look there. What do you got, Sonny?
First of all, it was a questionable call, not a bad call. Okay. questionable.
So my
call.
question is, why didn't that ref leave his flag in his pocket where it belongs? That's my question.
Well, we second of all, as I told you in real time when this happened, and
Yes.
I was writing the text. I swear to God,
In
I
our
was writing
group
the text before, hoping to send it out before you said any bullshit about this call. I straight out said, I don't want to hear any Rams fan and or player for that matter complain about that pass interference call. Quite frankly, I don't want to hear any Rams fan complain about a pass interference call ever unless it happens to them in the playoffs. And then even then, once it happens again to them, then okay, maybe.
Wow, we got to have two bad calls against us.
Yeah, you got to have two bad calls in the playoffs. Because I'm not going to let you just get off the hook like that. What they got away with to get to the bogus Super Bowl that I'm still trying to determine if they were even in, because they didn't really score in that Super Bowl. So if you don't score in the Super Bowl, were you ever in the Super Bowl? Is the call that went against the New Orleans Saints, who I don't care for. I never cared for the Saints. But to know that happened, a short 2 seasons, well, now going on 3 seasons ago, this coming playoff season, was all I needed to just keep you Rams fans at bay, to be like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about how this call didn't go your way. Because if I remember, I think in week 1 of this season, you guys also got away with the questionable PI call against the Cowboys down the stretch.
That is right, yeah.
So,
I love
let's not. Yeah,
you're totally right, and that was actually what Rams Twitter was going off about. That we had a few calls go our way. The questionable call against Dallas, this was bound to happen. That a bad call would cost us now. And I agree, man. Every time there's a bad officiating call, end of the game, middle of the game, doesn't matter. You can't blame the officiating. You as a team have to put yourself in a position to still win the game. You can't let a bad call, even though it sucks, but you have to put yourself in a position to win the game where a bad call doesn't affect the outcome. So
absolutely.
I could complain a little bit about it because it's annoying, but hey, man, you should have played better. You should have played better throughout the whole game. Donald, how did your Chargers look this past week?
Well, the Chargers game was somewhat interesting. They played against a team that was 0-2, and I would have thought that they were going to put them at 0-3. But man, credit to the Carolina Panthers. They really fought through. I felt that overall, for the most part, I don't know. I think the offensive coordinator or maybe the head coach, Anthony Lynn, they should let Justin Herbert loose. The kid can run, he can do a lot of great stuff, and it just feels like they're playing him really conservatively, and I didn't like that. And that was my takeaway for this game. Because the last game, obviously it was one of those last minute, he wasn't, they kind of made the change and started him. So I think he got to play a little bit more loose that game because I think both, coaches and him didn't, it's a communication thing. But this game, it just felt like they kind of figured out how to contain him a little more, which I don't think was smart. You just got to let him go. You know what I mean? He's not Phillip Rivers. He's not like 35 or whatever, 36. Like, he's young. Like, let him do his thing. But, I mean, the kid has a cannon for an arm. He can throw and he can run. I mean, it's really hard to sack the guy. But, he's just young. But I feel like overall the game wasn't really flowing the Chargers' way. Defense did whatever it could to contain the Panthers. I think Melvin Ingram not being there was definitely felt. Joey Bosa could only do so much. You definitely need the duo of Ingram and Bosa to kind of go and eat up quarterbacks. And, Teddy Two Gloves just had a really good day, and they made him really look good. They made him look really good. But overall, I think it was a learning game. A lot of penalties, a lot of, especially in those empty stadiums, there was I think 3 penalties that were basically where they jumped the line, so they were able to just get the calls, going the Panthers' way for the most part. And overall, I don't know. It's just, again, this goes back to what I said at the beginning, where Chargers should just have fun. They should have fun. I mean, obviously, no one ever expects them to be anywhere, but at the same time, they should just have fun, be loose, and just kind of make the most of the season and kind of figure out how they're going to move forward with Justin Herbert, who's probably going to be the starter for the next couple of weeks. I don't see Tyrod Taylor coming back. Obviously, that was a really terrible thing that happened. And
Oh,
I know
he's
it's being
coming back.
investigated, but
Oh,
you
he's
know,
coming back. Tyrod Taylor's coming back. There ain't no way the Chargers can allow him to lose his job due to malpractice
no.
by one of their team doctors. So he's
Yeah.
definitely coming back on as a
It
starter.
definitely got complicated for sure.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because a lot of the fans are like, you know, oh, we love Herbert, you know, including me, but it just kind of feels like you have to do the right thing.
Right.
And the right thing is that you got to give Tyrod Taylor at least a season to, you know,
at least a couple games, at least a couple
Yeah,
more games.
Yeah. It's not like Mitch Trubisky who got benched and then Nick Foles just went at it. But, you know, Trubisky has a record that, you know, it just speaks for itself at this point. But, you know, overall, that was the Chargers game. Looking forward to next week. They're playing Tampa Bay, I believe. So it's going to be good seeing Tom Brady again.
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay. Shout out to Tampa Bay Lightning, too, for winning the Stanley Cup.
Oh,
Yeah.
Big ups. Big ups. I'm glad they beat the Dallas Stars because I did not want to see Corey Perry get his name on that Stanley Cup. I cannot stand it. Dirtiest player in all of hockey.
God. You said dirtiest player.
Dude, he
Come
is
on.
legit the dirtiest player in all of hockey. All of hockey, man. Just disgusting.
And remind the listeners out
Oh, wait
there,
a minute.
who did
Actually,
Corey
no, I
Perry-
take it
who-
back.
who-
He might be the second dirtiest player. Number one, Mike Smith, goaltender, formerly of the Phoenix Coyotes, gave a little cup check to Dustin Brown during the 2012 Western Conference Finals. Hashtag
All right, but
never
just to
forget.
remind the folks out there, right, who were keeping score,
Mhm.
remind us, who's your hockey team?
LA Kings.
Okay, and tell me, who did Corey Perry? Who is he known to be a legend for? Which franchise?
A legend. That's
Yeah,
a
for their
stretch of the
franchise, they
word,
refer
man.
to him as a
Wow,
legend.
we're just throwing around.
But tell me what team is that?
Legitimately, Zlatan is a legend.
Tell
and now
me
you're throwing
the-
around legend
tell me
to
the
people
team-
like Corey
Tell me the team that
Perry,
Corey
man?
Perry played for.
He
Can
played
you tell me the team?
for the Anaheim Mighty Ducks.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. I wanted to make sure that you're and again, I'm a Kings fan also,
Yeah.
but just to keep it
But
100.
you would see him while players
Just-
are near the Anaheim bench, and he'd squirt water into their gloves.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a little playful, right?
He is a dirty player, absolutely, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't go as far as to say the dirtiest player.
Dirtiest player in the game. Ric Flair, you have competition from Corey Perry over there.
Oh my God.
Sonny, your 49ers played a game too and
Yep.
did pretty well. How did they do?
Yep. Oh man, we smashed the New York Football Giants. In fairness, I guess it depends on how you look at it. The Giants didn't have Saquon Barkley, but the Niners didn't have any of their starters. So for the fact that we smashed the Giants on their home turf, if you want to call it that, was something to
Or
see.
just
man.
painted
It was
dirt.
exactly
That might be safer even.
Although we did lose two more players to injury in that game. One was Jordan Reed, our Renaissance
no way.
tight end. Yeah, he got a
Oh,
knee
shoot.
injury. And then we lost our cornerback to a concussion. So luckily it wasn't the turf. I think his head hit the turf. So that's what caused
I
the...
can still blame it.
Is Kittle still out?
Kittle actually has returned to practice this week. So it's looking like he's going to suit up this coming Sunday night.
Well, he has to
Football
now.
against the Eagles. Yeah, but he needs to, exactly, because Jordan Reed is out. So anyways, to answer your question, Alex, the squad looked good. All things considered, again, we're a seriously banged up team right now. So the fact that we're 2-1, I'll count my blessings. I don't know how long this will last. I do like our chances this coming week against the Eagles. Like I said, Sunday Night Football. They're reeling. They're 0-3. We're back at home. Nick Mullins, I like what I see, man. I like what I see. I'm not ready to hand the keys over just yet, but it's nice to know that we have a competent backup that can run Shanahan's offense if we need to, So we'll see, man. It looked good. But still a lot of football left,
Oh,
man.
heck
Hopefully
yeah,
we can push it to 3-1. Because I peeked at the schedule. And we got to get all the wins we can right now between this week and next week, because let me tell you, man, the Niners probably have the toughest schedule from week 5 and on in all of football. And I implore you to go look up the schedule, and I promise you'll agree with me. Both of you
Okay.
will
I have
agree
to
with me
look at it.
after week 5. Yeah.
All right. Also, so this past weekend, also on Sunday, the Galaxy took on the defending
Who?
champion. What's up?
Who?
The LA Galaxy took on the defending MLS Cup champion Seattle Sounders, Sonny, And before the game started, I got an email from the Galaxy talking about a Zoom tailgate watch party. So my intrigue got the best of me, and I clicked on it. And I gotta say, we record this podcast via Zoom watch party as well. And gotta say, it was nothing like this. I mean, nothing like this Zoom meeting. It's about, for one, there was slightly a little bit more people. There was
Slightly.
at most,
I think there was twice as many people as there are.
There was 28 people max at one point. And there was only really about 5 people, including myself, ever talking to each other. Really, there's people kind of just staring at each other, which is very odd, right? I mean, we've seen sports now without fans, and they have the virtual fans like at the NBA and what have you. But this is just very odd, but fun at the same time. I gotta say, it was kind of fun. What's up?
I know what you could rename your supporter group name, faction, whatever. The Zoom 28.
Oh my God, the Zoom 28. I gotta say,
Zoom 28.
Those 28. We need to just bang a big drum with the 28 on it. Respect the 28. That's what I'm gonna be saying. Oh my God, but it was surprisingly a lot of fun. I mean, there was, like I said, 2 other hardcore Galaxy fans just talking about the team and what we, one was very optimistic, which I appreciated, because it's like, we got to see how they look in the first 15 minutes.
Alex, I want to make you an offer right here that you cannot refuse.
Here we go.
I will give you $200 if you give me the link to join this group for the next game.
I mean, I would
$200.
I would love that, because that would cover a bet that I have going on with my Yankees friend, who's a big Yankees fan, and and I bet the Dodgers against the entire field for the World Series.
Oh no!
I know.
What are you doing?
I'm an idiot. I know. But I'm also the degenerate gambler, where I'm like, well, if the Dodgers do win, I get the euphoria of them winning the world championship and $200 on top of that. Because I feel like this is I know, I'm an idiot. However, I cannot sell out my Galaxy friends to you, man. They're my friends now.
Why not? Chicharito did. I promise I'll wear a Bud Light. I'll drink a Bud Light seltzer the entire time.
You'll blend
Does
right
that
in.
help?
I did not see anybody drinking Bud Light seltzer. I did see one guy drinking a Modelo. So there you go, keeping it real with the sponsor there. None of this Angel City Brewery stuff that the other team drinks. That garbage. So I gotta say though, it was really fun to watch it, and the outcome wasn't what we wanted. 3-1 loss to Seattle, which was to be expected, but we wanted a better performance. It looked bad. Good news, though, the Galaxy snapped their goalless streak at 365 minutes. Oh, my God. And I got to say, the Zoom meeting, very critical of our star DP, which I will not name anymore. I will no longer name this guy. He is just our star DP who does nothing. I'm no longer going to say his name.
Chicha who?
Don't know. Never heard. Hey, I haven't seen him show up. He's our star DP. And they were very critical of him the entire time. And even when the goalless streak was snapped, Leggett scored a header. And right away, everybody was critical in the sense saying that should have been Chicha's goal, but he ran the wrong route to the net. Chicha could do no wrong. Yeah, I mean, Chicha could do no right in the Galaxy fans' eyes right now. And it's sad, but it's deservedly so, don't you think?
Donald, please go ahead, because I yeah. Please, as a fellow Galaxy, I like to view Donald sometimes as the more level-headed fan.
Because he is.
He knows how to look himself in the mirror.
If you wanted to give him a nickname, you could just name him after his jersey number, right?
14.
But yeah, no, the Galaxy definitely did not. I don't know. And the thing is, like, with the defenses, you can't expect the defense to be like all out against the number 1 team in the West.
Oh, of course.
So it's just, I mean, the defense did what it could. I know they were getting frustrated. Bingham was getting frustrated. But yeah, the issue is just the offense, the attacking. It's just not there. And then I know, Alex, we were speaking about how towards the end, they just kind of gave up and did this whole like attack and cross thing that they always do, which is back when Zlatan was there and it worked, but they kept doing that all the time. And I mean, it did work to get that one goal, but it's not a consistent strategy that's going to keep giving you goals, especially not against the number one team that just won that title last season. So it was a really, I don't know, it's a bummer to always, recap a loss, especially to a team, especially coming from the Galaxy where they were hot for 4 games, and then now it just feels like it's going the other way around, or kind of feeling like this is the team that this is who they are, and I don't know, it just sucks. It really sucks, but yeah, I guess all I could say is just better luck next week.
I mean, it's weird because in the 4
Man,
games,
I feel like right now you guys sound like what Heat fans sound after today's game.
Yeah, well, that's how that game felt when afterwards too. It was kind of like
they are who we thought they were.
Come on,
they
Denny Green.
are who we thought they were.
Don't
and we let them off the hook.
The ghost of Denny Green, rest in peace, haunting us here.
All right, so check this out. All right, I'm fully aware that my team, LAFC,
here you go. Get your bowl ready and eat your humble pie here.
Wait, listen. I'm fully aware. We also had a bad weekend in that. Forget about losing to the first place team.
Right.
We lost to the last place team.
Exactly.
Okay. In San Jose, it's a game that we actually had in hand for most of the game, and we blew the lead, and then we gave up the game-winning goal literally at the buzzer in the 92nd minute, I think it was. But that's neither here nor there. The reason why I can't help but smile through Alex and Donald's analysis or look at the Galaxy is, I remember there was an episode not too long ago that I couldn't make, man. I couldn't hop on, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember driving to the golf course, and I was like, oh man, I hope these boys really covered this, what went down this last week really well. I'm sure they're always on top of it. Yeah, I'm sure they did. Only to my surprise to find out, when it came to talking about the Galaxy, right, and LAFC, right, and there was all this talk coming about, man, LAFC fans are headhunting for Coach Bradley, like they need to chill, it's not so bad, but Galaxy, we look solid, man. They've been performing great, blah 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 blah, and you guys were on your high horse and talking about Michael K, talking about my midfielder,
the dirty player, Michael K. Yeah, I'm aware of it.
Talking about how Bob Bradley referred you guys as the Clippers,
wrongfully so.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And we all know what the Clippers have done since that episode.
They're called chips.
So not a good look. But what did I tell you guys? I told you guys when LAFC was scuffling, I said there's a lot of football left to be played.
Very true.
And what I meant by that wasn't necessarily that LAFC would turn it around. It's that usually what happens is teams start showing their true colors, right? LA Galaxy, again, to their credit, I'll credit them again. It's like we're the energy boost that they like. Galaxy probably hope we're on the schedule every other week because that's what keeps the Galaxy sharp, man. Like they bring it against us and then they ride that momentum into the next week or sometimes even the week after that, which props to them, and it sucks for us. It's frustrating that we allow that to happen, we being the LAFC franchise. Right. However, this Galaxy team was not projected to be a top team this season from the jump.
And that's what's so infuriating, because if the Galaxy would have stood stable as being like a bottom dweller team out of the playoff race, I'd be fine. Like, hey, they need to rebuild. We need to bring in different DPs, but they give us that hint of what can be, that they can put together 4 good performances and give us a potential run. Man.
Fool's gold, dude. You got to learn how to see the holes of your own team. I mean, of course, that's not to say that if maybe they do go on a run, right? But there was still too much soccer to be played to know that they were going to probably regress to the mean, right? And LAFC was at some point hopefully going to turn it around. I mean, injuries is the big wild card. If injuries are sustained or happen, that can just sink your season till the end, But all things being equal. And with that said, though, I'm not saying that the Galaxy now are going to be the bottom dwellers that they were, but I always knew they weren't going to be the world beaters that they looked like for that solid 3 weeks, because they still had the same holes.
Right.
Yeah. honestly, I think that just for the sake of the club, for the sake of the front office, and for the sake of the coaching, I think they definitely have to make the playoffs at least. Right now they have 15 points. You know, the bottom, the number 8 seed, Real Salt Lake, has 18. So it's not really like,
It's not out of reach. Yeah, I mean,
they're
LAFC has
definitely
18
gotta
points, so
turn
they're
around for the sake of just their reputation, and just if the coach wants us to come back next year, so.
yeah. I do think there's real pressure. That's for sure.
I gotta say, man, I think some real changes need to be made. I mean, we're stuck with that star DP for at least 3 to 5 years now. He's not going anywhere. However, Yona might be gone at the end of this year. He's got maybe one. He's got supposedly 2 years left, but he could be done. They could make a deal and get rid of him. And I don't think they're going to keep Pavon with the money that Boca Juniors wants, $20 million for him. Which, I mean, Pavon is good and all, but I don't think he's worth $20 million though. I mean, that if I pay $20 million for a player on my team, I expect him to be this dominating, game-changing presence. Even when you put in a Chicha and Yona back from injuries, no matter who you slot in there, you should be able to command the game and take it upon yourself to get your team make a difference. And I don't see him making a difference. Mind you, they're double and triple teaming him, but figure something out. You're going to get paid $20 million. You got to do something for it. So I almost don't think they should bring him back. So they got to make some adjustments. So that's why I kind of would rather see the Galaxy kind of start not tanking, but not make the playoffs. So that way we could see some major changes in the team next year. That's the only way.
So you're all in for the rebuild now.
I think we have to. This team is not figuring. This team is lost out there with our star players out, with our big players out there, and it's not working. So it's either the coach or it's the personnel. So the easiest fix is firing the coach. Okay, you do that, but you also have choices to make at DP, so you might as well make those changes as well. And I would really like, I really want a strong midfielder in there that rather than a striker. I mean, we're stuck with the striker, quote unquote striker that we have. So we need a strong midfielder who's going to be creative and take over a game at some point. So, I mean, I want options, and right now we're going to be stuck. We're stuck with who we have. So I need options from the midfield. I mean, you guys looking to move out to Westa?
Oh man, no. I think he's proven his worth just tenfold. Our struggles happen to coincide with the fact that Atuesta, obviously, and Vela have been out, but more so Atuesta because
look how good they played in the bubble without Vela.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because he's the stopgap. Because we have good enough forwards, even without Vela, to finish. But if there's nobody providing service to them and able to create quickly from the midfield like Atuesta does or has been, then we're just not the same team. So to answer your question, hell no. But I will say that Atuesta's not long for this league either. I think he's in the same boat as Pavon and Rossi in that those are 3 players that may get poached for Europe or possibly for Europe soon within the next couple seasons, if not next season. So we'll see, man.
Or we could always
both our
just
teams might have some.
Or we could always just make a move for our star DP for Rodriguez from you guys, and you guys could have a 3 reunion there.
Hey, I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't say no to that.
Of course you wouldn't, because he wouldn't have to do anything.
I promise you that Chicharito would have, if he played alongside Vela, I promise you that Chicharito would have at least 5 goals right now, assuming they were both on the field. So I'll do that deal 100 times.
Dude, 5 goals from that star DP sounds like the Zlatan 30-goal season from a couple from last season. That sounds astronomical amount of goals from that guy. Yeah. I can't imagine it.
What guy are you talking about, dude? The listeners are going to be confused. Like, why is Alex not talking about? Like, who is he talking about now?
I will not say his name.
Say it.
Nope. Moving on. UFC pay-per-view also happened. Izzy, the last style bender hype train rolls on, dude. Big second round KO over Apollo Costa. Was that your pick, Sonny? I feel like that was your guy. That's your guy, right?
Yep.
He's impressive, man. What did you think of his post-fight celebration there, where he kind of raw dogged Paulo Costa there?
Stay classy, man. Stay classy,
dude. I mean, that's what I love about mixed martial arts is the guys will do whatever they do to sell a fight beforehand. You know, even with the Connor Nate, you know, bottle throwing thing. But after a fight's done, you always shake hands out of respect for the fight. You know, like the fact that these guys put their lives on the line, with the exception of Conor Habib. You know,
yeah, I was gonna say.
I mean, that one got taken out of control. But I appreciate that as an MMA fan. You know, because sometimes we get flack for like, how can you watch that brutality? It's like human cockfighting. That's such an ignorant statement to say, I think, man, because martial arts is in fact that it's an art and it's a discipline, and that's why I enjoy watching it. So to disrespect it and call it that, I hate when other people criticize mixed martial arts. But
discipline is the key word.
Exactly.
There. You know, and if you don't, you gotta maintain your discipline even once the fight is over.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing that some of these fighters, us as fans, we like some of the brash, you know,
of course,
you know, display or whatnot. But ultimately in that mixed martial arts arena, discipline is your greatest feat, you know? Mm-hmm. And so when dudes get a little too carried away, again, Habib being the exception, because I totally understood where that guy was coming from. But even then, obviously, I still think he went overboard.
A little bit,
just a little bit. But if anybody deserved it, it's Connor's folks. I swear to God.
I mean, jumping out of the cage and flying after Dylan Dennis, man, that's a little overboard.
Yeah, but discipline is the thing you'd like to see throughout, you know. But discipline isn't always what sells tickets, man. So it's a tough. It's a tough, like, in between, a tough line to cross or walk.
Because what's the worst thing Paulo Costa did there in the face-offs there? He threw Izzy a white belt, criticizing his jiu-jitsu, saying that you're a white belt in jiu-jitsu, and he throws it at him to get into a scuffle. Like, that's what's upsetting. That's what upset Izzy so much to do that. That seems
some dudes just need any chip they can get, and they'll hang on to that for that mental advantage.
Right.
And they won't let it go. At the end of the day, they're still human. I mean, did you not just see the presidential debate, man? Like, there's dudes who just don't.
No, wait, what? I'm gonna interrupt you. No, I'm not done. I'm not done talking.
It doesn't click, man. Like, they just they don't know when to shut the fuck up.
You know what? I'm gonna move to Fight Island and just live there instead. That's where this event happened. I'd rather just go live there. That sounds like a lovely place to live, man. Fight Island.
Yeah. You and your boy.
I still was waiting for that octagon. I was really thinking they were going to fight in front of the beach, man.
I know, right? We got so oversold on that shit.
That.
I know.
Oh, man. Also, the co-main event was a title match. Jan Blachowicz shows off that Polish power, man, and knocks out Dominic Reyes. Second round KO. Man, I was really pulling for Dominic, the Devastator Reyes, man. I feel like he was the rightful champion. His last fight against John Jones didn't go his way in the last in the championship rounds, the fourth and fifth round. I felt Reyes was winning going into those rounds, but man, that's what happens when you don't have that mental edge, as you were saying, Sonny. He kind of felt, and I already beat John Jones. This guy's gonna be a cakewalk, and then you get in the octagon, and this happens. You get KO'd. Did you see his ribs, dude, from those leg kicks?
No.
His ribs were all bruised up in the first round. It looked nasty. It was nasty. So UFC pay-per-view this weekend. Here we go, guys. Game 2 tonight as we're dropping this. You ready? You ready? Lakers going to do it. Game 2, is this the game they drop to Miami that they allow the Heat to have? No, not yet. Sonny just backed away from the mic. He's not even going to dignify that with a response.
I mean, listen, it's the Heat's move to make. Obviously, next, how are you going to step up and respond? It's still too soon. Got to see what the injury reports look like tomorrow, or even I'm sure those dudes are going to be game time decisions per the usual, because they don't want the Lakers to know already that those dudes are not available. But we'll see, man. It's in the Lakers just got to keep doing what they did, and that's breaking that silly zone that the Heat try to play that was effective against the Celtics at times, and just being the bigger dogs, man. Anthony Davis. If Anthony Davis plays like he did in Game 1, it's a wrap. This might be a sweep if he sustains that every single night.
Yeah.
So
I was interested in seeing how the Bam versus AD matchup would look, and it's crazy to see how AD is the all-star, and he definitely showed that. And Bam, I guess it's going to be a learning experience for the most part. But I'm with Sonny. I think the Lakers will take Game 2.
Yeah, AD was playing aggressive with his body out there. Reminded me of another AD who plays American football out there in LA, man. You know who I'm talking about.
I hate that you refer to him as AD. Nobody's ever called Aaron Donald AD, first of all.
They call him AD.
First of all, okay.
I call him
Nobody's
AD.
called him AD. Everybody knows that when you say AD, we all know you're talking about Anthony Davis. This goes back to his Pelicans. Donald, am I right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
thank you.
True. Yeah, AD was always
exactly the OG AD, Alex. For your information, is Anthony Davis, the imposter, the beast imposter that plays for the Los Angeles Rams is Aaron Donald. I even think he has a different nickname. Actually, I don't remember what it was, but they used to call him something else. And I don't even get me. See, you already started this. The Rams, the LA Rams didn't even draft Aaron Donald. The St. Louis Rams did. So it's amazing to me how like Rams LA fans are like, yeah, that's our guy. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, y'all did. That's like the Thunder claiming Kevin Durant like so hard. And it's like, dude, the Sonics drafted Kevin Durant. It's like the freaking.
Still the same franchise, man. That's still the same franchise. God. Show some respect. Come on. AD.
Oh my God.
Aaron
Front runner.
Game 3 is going to be Sunday for the NBA Finals, 4:30 p.m. start time on ABC. Hopefully, there's not a Game 3 going on for the Dodgers. That's going on today, 3:38 possibly. My LA Football Rams are playing host to the New York Football Giants coming out to SoFi Stadium. The Giants are 0-3. 0-3. So you're predicting a win for us Rams, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Should be easy money.
Steamroll that team. Yeah, man.
We'll see, man. You never know with this
Saquon
Rams.
Barkley. Nah, come on. If y'all don't win this game, ooh, don't bring me on the next show. Don't bring me on the. You might have to skip me again for the next episode if you guys don't win
Sonny,
this
it's all
one.
good. You're bumped for this week. Sorry. We got Matt Damon on instead.
Yeah, don't fuck around and lose that game, man.
Donald, who are your Chargers taking on?
The Chargers will be playing Tampa Bay.
Ooh.
They will be playing them at 10 a.m. at CBS. So
nice.
That's good. I think the past 2 weeks it's been like 1 p.m. games. I don't mind having to watch them a little earlier if they keep playing like this. Just get it out of the way in the morning part of the day.
Yeah, you get on with the rest of your day afterwards.
It's crazy because Tampa Bay. I like some of their guys. I like Mike Evans. Their wide receivers are pretty good. Godwin. Was it OJ Howard? Their tight end's amazing too. I prefer him over Gronk, but that's me. So it's. I think this defense is going to be challenged for sure. The secondary isn't looking too good for the Chargers. They definitely let a lot of balls go past, and other teams tend to get a lot of yardage. The run defense is a lot better. They definitely can stop runs, but unfortunately, like for the Bucs, their running game isn't their strength. It's Tom Brady and the throwing and the wide receiver. So
and the Gronk.
Hopefully the Chargers, and Gronk. So hopefully the Chargers just kind of prepare for that and have a good scheme against them.
Sonny, who are your Niners taking on?
Dude, so we got the Eagles on Sunday night. So Sunday night's going to be tricky for me, man. I'm going to have that 3-monitor system going because at 4:30 is Lakers Heat Game 3. At 5:30 is Niners Eagles Sunday Night Football. And then at 6:30 is LAFC Real Salt Lake. So it's going to be another jam-packed Sunday for me, man.
But at least it doesn't start super early for you in the morning. I mean, unless you check out maybe you'll check out the Chargers game at 10 a.m.
Oh, no, I'll definitely be watching sports all day, not to mention whatever baseball games are going to be played that day.
That's right.
Playoff baseball.
Dude,
too.
I can only imagine and dream if my Mariners were in the playoffs, what it would be like to be able to watch all of my teams like that on one day. A guy can dream.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so your LAFC are going to take on Real Salt Lake, as you mentioned, Sunday at 6:30 on Unimas Overflow channel. Those two teams battling for the last spot in the playoffs there. Believe it or not, your LAFC right there on the cusp of missing the playoffs and almost being where LA Galaxy and San Jose are at bottom.
Almost,
dwelling.
but we're also only 6 points off of the number 1 seed.
It
depends on how you look at
it's
it.
MLS, man. It's MLS 2020. Dude.
I'm not worried. Let me just remind y'all. I'm not worried. Let's check again November 1st. Well, I'm sorry. By the time you're listening to this, it's already October. So let's check again. How about let's check again in 2 weeks and we'll talk where we all stand and what that's going to look like.
That's exciting. It's still a lot of time, a lot of football to go, kind of, but not really. So you got to start making your moves now. Then there's also UFC on ESPN Plus prelim cards. Pretty good card. The featured bout, Carlos Condit versus Court McGee there on ESPN Plus. And on the main card, the main event, Holly Holm, the kick heard round the world on Ronda Rousey. You remember Holly Holm, of course, former bantamweight women's champion, taking on Irene Aldana. So be sure to check who. She's a fighter out of Mexico, dude. So that's why I root for her. That's all I know. All I know in combat sports, if they're from Mexico or LA, dude, I'm going for that.
Hey,
you know how it goes.
Speaking of Mexico, shout out to Mexico for in a friendly, non-FIFA friendly, taking care of Guatemala. Sorry, condolences. But it was a clinical performance. It was nice to see international football.
What was the final score on that one?
It was 3-0. It was 3-0
Nice.
at the half, but it just ended up 3-0. But it was
very nice.
It was nice to see. It was nice to see El Tri back in action, man. Even though it's not the full team, but it was awesome to see the jersey out.
It was all Mexican national. I mean, players from Liga MX, though, right? There was
correct
domestic
players. Mm-hmm.
No Jimenez, the Mexican sensation out there in Wolverhampton. There,
that's right. No Tecatito, no El Chucky, no Raúl Jimenez, no definitely no Chicharito.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
Before we go, I want to give a big shout out to Dog Chocolate. Who gave us a nice review on Apple Podcasts. Big shout out here to Dog Chocolate who gave us a review here on Apple Podcasts and says, "Smooth operators, get it?" and gives us a 5-star review, the same amount of stars that Galaxy have. So just, I don't know if you noticed that, Sonny, that's just for you. Says, "Alex and Donald clearly know what they're doing technically. A breath of fresh air in sports pods and have fresh and humorous takes on every sport that exists, even the ones they don't like. If I had money, I would give it to them." Dog Chocolate,
Alex,
man. Big ups. What's up?
Yeah, props to Dog Chocolate, man. That's awesome. Pop question, since you just called me out with your 5 stars.
Uh-huh.
Can you name the 5 teams that LA Galaxy beat to earn those 5 stars?
New England Revolution twice. Houston no? Or Houston Dynamo twice.
All right, and that's our show, folks.
Hey, is this a history class or is this? I'm a newer Galaxy. I'm a newer football fan. Come on.
And that's all. And that's all, folks. Bye.
That's all, folks. How? Once again, it's our take on sports, even ones we don't like. That's my biggest the funniest thing with that, by the way.
I know, right?
What sports do we talk about that we don't like?
We don't like certain.
He must mean the ones you don't know.
The ones I don't know,
like the Galaxy.
Championships.
I think that was a typo.
Because that would be correct. I don't know anything about any sports. I just talk about them. That's all I do.
No. You'd be too harsh.
Oh, man. But this is always great to talk with you guys, man. I always look forward to it. And please, if you give us a review on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple, we'll give you guys a shout out and read your review. Even the nasty ones. I mean, be a little nice. Sonny tries his best here every time he comes on and talks smack about the 49ers and the Mariners and what have you. So be nice to him, So that's going to wrap it up for us this week. So thank you again, Sonny Mano. What's up? You have one more thing to say?
Every show needs a villain, man. Just saying.
You play a heel, a legit
Every
heel,
show.
better than a guy named Colby Covington and Jorge
Fuck that
Masvidal.
guy. You do not put me in the same sentence as those fuckers.
But except your heat is a fun heat. It's not that go away heat that they got, man. It's just like,
Yeah.
disgusting.
Yeah.
But your heat is a fun heat, man. That's a good heel that you love to like, goddamn, I hate that guy, but he's good.
I appreciate it.
That's the kind of
appreciate
heel
it.
you are, man, which I respect.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
That's going to wrap it up for us this week. Thank you again to Sonny Demano, the heel of all heels, for joining us. Check out his podcast, The Fox Crate Podcast, and give him a follow on Instagram at The Fox Crate. So next week, we're going to be covering a whole plethora of more sports, so be sure to tune in. And be sure to follow us also on Twitter and Instagram at WestBoxScored. Also, please subscribe, rate, and review us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts downloaded. See ya.
Go vote.
Yeah, go vote. And later, guys. See you next week.